أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا ثبت أقدامنا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. Amen. Now we learn that although we are studying divine determining, it is nothing to do with us. You may say, oh, why are we studying that? We had to establish that we have to understand divine determining, that it is none of our business. Are you surprised? It is none of our business. It is the Creator's business to take care of how to determine within His absolute knowledge and absolute power. We have to take care of our own responsibility, which is to take care of our free choice. So we should never mix the two realm, divine determining and my free will. So these kind of verses from the Quran, let's study together. This says, somebody would like to read the originals?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم سنة الله التي قد خلت من قبل ولن تجد لسنة الله تبديلا.
Yeah. What if is missing in the تبديلا. Right. The translation. Sister, she will shout, I know.
It is the law of God which has taken course aforetime, and you will never find any change in God's law.
No. So it is, what we learn from here very clearly, I'm sure you understand now, there is no change in God's law, but but when we pray, the hadith says, our qadar change is something to do with us. So as far as God's absolute power, we spend on it 5 classes. So that's absolute power is concerned. It is encompassing His power, absolute power, absolute knowledge, encompassing everything at a time. That's what we have to understand. Since He encompasses everything, what is under the encompassing knowledge of God is what I am going to do as a person who is subject to time. I am experiencing in my own time. I am created in a way that I am going through the time. But I'm going through time. Each time I am observing a new creation. But as far as I am concerned, but as God's knowledge is concerned, it includes everything in it at a time. So God says, look, when I determine, it is fixed. What is fixed? I need to repeat this. What's fixed, He knows what I am going to do, what I have done, what I am doing, what I am going to do at a time. It is included in it. He decides according to my choice. But the difference is very simple. Very simple. But if we miss this point, we always, in the questions I see, the point is missing. But if I do something good, God changes. Change means you. God means absolute. Don't confuse. So God knows what you are going to do without being subject to time. Very simple. He's absolute. His knowledge is absolute. As far as He is concerned, whatever we think of universe from the beginning to the end exists at once. That's why That is why it was extremely important to understand what absolute means. When we understand God's perspective, God doesn't know as if God is waiting for me. If I am speaking from God's perspective, if I say God is waiting for me, I don't know what the sky is going to do. So I don't know. Let me think about it. So he chose this. Okay, accordingly I will decide. There is no such thing, because it means bringing the absolute creator into my realm of existence. I am the created one. He is the absolute creator. So he knows everything according to what I'm going to choose. That's why everything is decided. These people will need a prophet. I'm going to appoint a prophet. And never forget that my choice, free choice, is really free. Yeah. I wanted to lift up my glasses, but if nothing is wrong with my head, but I cannot because God didn't let me. There is no such thing. If I want, here it is. Some people, heretically speak and say that, you say that everything is decided by God. No, everything is decided by me. Here I am and picking up the classes. If God wants to stop me, let him stop. Can't. Here I am, I'm doing it. Look at the language. How mixed up. How mixed up. We should be very clear. So when I say God, it is absolute. When I say I, subject to time. And I'm free within the time constraint as far as I'm concerned. So I have to wait. Shall I do it? Shall I not do it? Yeah, okay, I think. And then I decide to do it, I do it. This verse says God's law. There, of course, the Sunnah is the way God creates. Sunnah is the habit of creation, etc. But in order to make it easy for us and applicable to our subject, I have chosen the word law, because we are familiar with the law, because we know that law doesn't change. Yes, law doesn't change. The way God's creation doesn't change. That's what this verse says. You will never find any change in God's law. Yeah, the way he creates. Let me say one thing, a secret thing. God's law includes and happens according to this, which I changed the God's law. I played. So God's law includes God's knowledge and no special. no, after the class, I'm jealous. No, I'm sorry. So just we have to concentrate on this part. God's law means the way he creates. What is the law? According to his knowledge. He creates according to his knowledge. And what is the nature of his knowledge? Absolute. Knows what I'm going to do. Knows that my feet is going to touch the connecting wire or the adapter and destroy the connection, the electric connection, and it won't come. So it is established. But according to my choice. According to my choice. What is difficult for us to understand? So we love to be modest. Okay, it's good to be modest, definitely. Definitely, it is good to be modest. So in order to practice our modesty, we say, I have nothing, God has everything. Okay, so whatever I do has no power, God has all power. Okay, from the creation point of view, it is absolutely correct. You cannot create, he creates. That's correct. But it is his will. We have to understand that. It is his choice to give me free will and to set me free to exercise my free will. That's his will. He will. He can will everything. He said, okay, I'm going to create you, Ali, and you will be free to use your free will within a certain limit, of course. I cannot really knock down the buildings with one giving a smack on them. But I can take my glasses. I can put my glasses on. No, I don't want to. I'm free. So that's God's will. And what is even more? What is even more? I will create as you choose. Oh, I am in front of God's will? Yes! That is the point usually people don't understand. I'm sure you do, but others, but bad guys don't understand. You do. So God creates according to my choice as far as my free will, the field of my free will is concerned. He set me free. It is His will. If you like, I am free to choose, and He preferred to follow my freedom. But how an absolute knowledge follows my freedom? That's His will. We have to understand that. That is His will. That is His choice. That He creates what I choose. That seems to be, of course, I had a hard time as well when I was maybe younger than you. So I said, no. God is not going to follow my free will. God is not going to follow my choice. Of course, everything He decides and creates who I am. No, as far as human beings are concerned, as far as the free will, the exercising the free will of the human beings are concerned, God says, I follow your choice. And I will create whatever you choose within your field, because He gave me the ability. And also, you may think that our ability is limited. In one sense, it is absolutely true, not limited. We cannot create. But exercising the free will is concerned, our free will is set free by my Creator, and I have been given such enormous qualities, potentialities to know God. It is not a simple thing to know God with His all attributes, with His all qualities. So don't think that we are nothing. Yes, we are nothing. Please don't confuse that. Understand, it's very simple, but very fundamental. Yes, we are nothing in order to create. We shall not create anything. We are everything in order to comprehend. Every single human being is qualified to understand the Creator with His all absolute qualities. Not the content-wise. You know, for example, I can understand that the Creator of this universe must have an absolute knowledge, absolute mercy, absolute wisdom, absolute will, absolute power. Yeah, I can understand with the quality He has given me. So from one aspect, I am nothing to create. From another aspect, I am everything to get to know my Creator. I can understand everything. So maybe there are 150 something languages spoken, general, I mean not tribal language, but main languages. 150 languages are spoken in the world. I can speak all of them. If only I learn. I have the ability. I am given the ability. But if I have been trying to learn English, you know how appalling my English is. So, but if I try to learn something, I learn. It is with me. So how can I know that God is merciful, for example? I have the capacity to experience it and conclude that my Creator must be absolutely merciful one. I can conclude that I have been given this quality. So don't say that we are nothing, we cannot do anything, so we cannot choose. No, it's a confusion. It's a confusion. Would you like that?
Are we allowed to ask questions?
Depends on if you are not from Egypt, yes. You are not. Okay.
Wait a second.
Look at him. He's that kind. All right. All right. You. No, please. No,
Okay, so one of the things you said was that we're free to choose, right? And I don't remember your exact words, but to the effect of that, God will not interfere in our choice. Like we're completely free to choose.
Yeah, within a limit.
And we're
field.
and we're going to be held accountable to our choices and all that. But what about like stories in the Quran, like for example the story of Al-Khidr, for example, and with Moses and he killed the child because that child was going to be bad. He didn't even make the choice yet. What about that? Isn't that sort of preemptively?
So Khidr is not a human being.
No.
Not Moses is a human being. So we can study that in other subject. But since you raised up the question here or brought the subject into the discussion, which comes to our mind because we keep hearing this kind of things, that's why we are not settled down. Khidr is not a human being. Moses is a human being. We are expected to follow Moses, not Khidr. We confuse that. But Khidr, knew the things from the past. Yes, it is not unknown to the creator of the Khidr. Khidr represents the absolute knowledge of God in relation to a prophetic, person who has been given the prophetic mission. So even the prophets don't know what will happen in the future, don't know what happened in the past if they have not experienced that. So God is clearly saying us that everything is known to him, but human beings don't know unless he let them know. Khidr is the one who represents, if you like, the partially privileged person representing or reminding us that everything is known by God.
Okay, but that doesn't still answer my question. Like my question is, if he's representing God's knowledge, then still he killed the child based on God's knowledge that he will choose to do something in the future, but he didn't actually choose it yet.
No. Who is Khidr killing the child? Do you think, look, be careful, do you think if Moses killed the child would be okay?
No.
No, because he is not employed to represent God's choice. God means the one who creates with absolute power, the one who knows everything with absolute knowledge, and the one who chooses with absolute will. So Khidr is not my ideal man, because he's not a man. All the prophets are men, human beings. Khidr is not. So Khidr represents that God knows, God plans. For example, when you came here, you found these buildings here. Yeah, as far as you are concerned, these are there. So there are some trees. Who created them? Who created them? The trees here, before he came here. The one who created the universe created. So everything is arranged by him. Everything. That's why God's law doesn't change. He wills everything absolutely, freely. But what I have to do, I have to follow his law of creation. Law of creation. All right? Don't you understand? So he says, for example, before you get married with this lady, she was created by God, prepared for you. Right? That is God's work. Not you didn't create her. So you get married now, and you say, I found what God has created for me. So whatever happens in this world is prepared by God. You are responsible for what? How to use them with your free will. So you are responsible for your will.
I understand, but then that goes against what you were saying earlier, in that God creates based on our choices.
Yep.
And
our actions. Not the universe.
Yeah. But this child didn't choose to be bad yet. He didn't even make that choice yet.
No, but it is known. That story tells us it is known to God. And in the story, who kills him? Who kills the child? Khidr. Khidr, not a human being. We are talking about human being. I don't think you are Khidr as well. Now, don't confuse. The idea in this story, the Quran narrates, I feel, I'm not accusing anybody, especially you here, no, always misunderstood, saying that Khidr is better than Moses because he is more knowledgeable. No, he represents the absolute knowledge of God. He represents that the God has prepared this world for you. Before you came to this world, he prepared the world for you. He prepared the mother and the father and the land, the town, whatever, where you grew up, and all the food and everything is prepared by him. Everything is prepared by him. So that is that's the example of absolute choice. So we are responsible to follow Moses. We are responsible to follow Moses. No one should try to idolize Khidr and to be like Khidr, knowing what will happen in the future. You don't know. So we have to follow the prophets, not Khidr. But at the same time, Khidr the example lets us know that everything is known by God, prepared by God. I am responsible for what? My own free choice. How to exercise my free choice. That's your second? No,
not me. And when the class started, you said God creates according to the human being's free will.
Yeah. Human actions, of course, I must specify it. So creates human actions according to human choice.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted clarification on that.
Yeah, not everything.
Like,
not
can you give an example? Creates according to action.
Here it is. It is created by God. I have chosen it.
Okay.
But God doesn't create the galaxies for me because I have chosen it. I have found them within the field of my free will. So,
I think that we get confused if we think in our terms, because in my terms, everything is temporal and everything is finite. So I cannot conceive the idea of knowing that a child is going to grow up and is going to be bad, and that's going to affect many others. So I'm going to prevent it. Of course, Allah knows everything, but in my concept as a person, as a human, I don't have the absolute power. I don't have the absolute knowledge to comprehend the concept.
Something, but you don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Yes.
That's that. You don't have to be an absolute. No, not more than what we are given. So that's absolutely correct. Yeah. Because we are created with a free will, free choice, we have to take care of our choice, free choice. So we have to follow Moses. If Moses killed the person, the child in the example, it would be a murder. So I cannot follow it. I cannot say, this guy seems to be going to cause some problems in the world. Let me kill him. So this is not an example. The Quran doesn't give this example to us at all. Another? There was somebody else. And is there somebody else? Okay.
So my question is, you said he creates according to my choice within certain conditions.
No, within the field of my free choice.
But not everything I choose gets created.
Yes. Yes, everything you choose.
Everything I choose.
Yes. For example, give me an example. What you have chosen and is not created. Of course, illnesses.
Right now I choose, let's say, to be in another place.
Yeah. Go and take it and go. No, but Ali is here, so don't choose to get rid of the other one.
Yeah, for example, I submit an application for college and
Okay.
I send it to 5 schools.
Okay.
My choice was I wanted to get into a specific
Yeah.
school and I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my
Your
choice.
application is arrived, and they said no. They have the choice to say no. And it doesn't mean that what you expect to happen. You are free to choose, and if it is within the laws of creation of God, it is going to be created. But there are other elements also. There are other people's choice. Yeah, you want to hit something. Let's say I'm throwing this one and hit that one, and because I haven't trained myself, and because I am not really following the law of creation properly, I throw it. It doesn't hit. It doesn't mean that I wanted it will happen. No. However, I act within the laws of creation of God. I am free to choose. God doesn't force me to choose. I am free to choose, and as long as it is within the laws of the creation, it is applicable to it. He creates it. For example, if I am ill, my arm is not working, so I want to take it, but I can take it, yeah, because my arm is not
For
working.
example, I'm still taking medicine and I don't get better.
Yeah, of course, because you are not taking proper medicine, or you are not complying with the laws of creation properly, or that is your lifespan. You know, that your lifespan is decided.
Lifespan, and that's the creator's choice
Of course,
overriding my choice.
Of
So
course,
it's not
yeah.
my choice.
Not overriding your choice. No.
Then you said that's not that my choice is above the creator's.
So as long as you are alive, of course, these are good questions. You know, it puts the limitations, or you know what we are talking about. So, for example, I am giving life. Yeah, I start as a baby doing this without knowing, and then grow, and then when I am old, I cannot move anymore, and I am die, finish. That is the outset is set by God. But within this outset, my free will is free, not under constraint by divine determining. Divine determining doesn't determine my free will. I think this point, by the way, the questions are very good today. Surprisingly, that's the good question.
I want to ask you about the point you said that if Moses killed the child, that would be a murder.
Yeah.
What if Moses knew that this child would be a bad...
No, if goes beyond God's sunnah. Human beings cannot know the future. God knows it.
Does this apply to Abraham when he tried to slaughter his son?
Yes?
It was a murder.
No.
No, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't a murder. It was a command from God. Yeah? He has to obey the God's command. You know, you say murder is bad. Yes, murder is bad. But if God commanded to murder, it wouldn't be bad. But You know, it wasn't a command to teach something. It wasn't a command to kill a child. So it didn't happen. No, it was just, if you like, God's plan to teach us something, human beings. No, it is not a command to kill a child. So everybody knows that you cannot really kill a child as a result of your own choice. No. Okay, anybody else? Yeah.
About the command, for instance, another command that Allah gave us is to pray, and it's to our benefit. And we have the free will
That's something else.
to do it or not.
No. Yeah, we are free, but Abraham was free as well. You know. But he said, okay, I will obey it. And he obeyed, and but it was a plan for human beings that God is going to teach something. But it also has. I'm not saying this event didn't happen. I don't mean that at all. But through that event, what we are learning, we have to kill our anything turned into an object of worship, as if the child is going to guarantee my future. I said, no, I should give up this idea. I should kill this idea. You understand? I should kill this concept. Yep. If I kill, God replaces it with something else. So we shouldn't really put our trust in anything in this world. We have to struggle for it, but our trust will be or should be put in God. That is another teaching that we learn from this kind of events. It doesn't mean that, are we sure now, shall we move on, that our free will is not determined by God. We are free, but the result is created by God, and God knows it without being subject to time. That's the summary of what we say.
Okay, I understand all that. But since you mentioned about illness, let's say I intend to be somewhere next week.
Yep.
I plan on, but then I get sick.
Okay.
So there is a wisdom behind this, something
That's
that I
something
see as
else.
like an obstacle, but
So you are, when you want to go, God doesn't force you to want to go. You are free. Your free will is free. Your free will is free. But what will happen, for example, God forbid, maybe an accident may happen. So accident is another plan. God didn't force you to get involved into an accident. God didn't force you to go or not to go. You wanted, and there are sets, God sets of laws there, set the universe. God knows that you are going to hit this way, choose this way, and this car will come from opposite direction, and they will hit, and you won't go. But it is God's creation. But whatever you have chosen, however you have educated, trained your driving skills, improved your driving skills, is your choice. God has not forced you, gave you the opportunity, let you free. That the creation is from God. So whatever is created from God, say it is from God. But when, as far as your responsibility is concerned, what I have done, have I been very careful? Have I trained myself properly, adequately, etc., etc.? Look at your own free choice. You are responsible from your free choice. If something happens not within your free choice, it is God's choice. We don't know. It is His responsibility, not my responsibility. I have to take care of my responsibility. My responsibility includes in it that this universe belongs to Him, not belongs to me. Doesn't belong to me, belongs to Him. So He administers the universe. How do you say tasarruf? He administers the universe according to His will. I have to take care of my will. So I'm responsible for my choice.
So in the Quran, for example, when there's things that are forecasted, like for example, Fath Mecca, when the Muslims will return to Mecca, that was forecasted in the Quran. Was that because God willed it to happen, or is it because He saw that the events will happen that will lead to this, and he's
Now, these are critical problems. You know, you say that God has forecasted the.
not God, the Quran.
You say, no, Quran doesn't say so. Quran says, Fatih is. And we have prepared the Fatih for you. Who said that it was for Mecca? You are saying. God doesn't say Mecca. That's your interpretation. I mean, that the people's interpretation. It may include in it, but it also includes what I am going to conquer. Fatih, open. Because that speaks to me as well.
Okay, whatever it is.
So, yeah, God knows.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is it because God wills it to happen, or is it because He saw the whole, all the events that will happen and knows that this will happen, and so He's reporting that it will happen?
God says, I know what I'm going to do. I know what will happen. Mind your business. Take care of your free will. Okay? So if you prepare for something, that's your business, but I am with you as long as you obey my two kinds of laws. One is the laws of creation, the other one is laws of administering human life. It means we call it Sharia Qawliya, the laws of the speech, transferred to human beings through prophets. The other one is the laws of the creation. We have to obey these two laws. That's my business. What God does, my business includes also God can create everything He wants. That is His property. I have to take care of my own choice. I'm responsible for my choice. So according to His laws, what I will do, for example, if I don't prepare myself for the class, I don't pass the class. Right? I have to take care of my free will. I studied, I obeyed all the laws, etc. But the result is F, not fail. It means I didn't pass the class. Don't say, why didn't I get to pass the class? You can ask this question for yourself, not God. Say, because you are responsible for your free will. At the beginning of this discussion, we said, just you are responsible for your free will. Let's say while we are studying, the moon, for example, went out of its orbit. None of my business. It is His choice.
No, it will be your
It's
business
property.
if it has consequences.
So somebody says this. What do you
It
mean?
will affect, like, say,
Effect, okay.
it will
What do you
affect
say?
your life.
You said this. So it is not my choice. I didn't will it. I didn't choose it. I didn't create it. That's His property, not your property. يتصرف في ملكه كيف يشاء. He can arrange the world as whatever He likes.
And what would prevent Him then to do something?
Prevent?
What would
Yeah.
No, I mean, like the Quran, for example, says وَيَمْكُرُ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ. So you make your plans, and God will make His plans. Doesn't that somehow implicitly say that my plans will be better than yours, and I will?
We will study this kind of things because as you got the email, in the email seemingly contradictory verses, we will study that. So, but now we are getting into the subject step by step. Don't worry. So I have to take care of today. We have to learn. I have to take care of my responsibility in using my free will. How I am going to exercise my free will. That's my responsibility. By the way, do we have any other questions so we can quickly pray and come back?
So, I have one question.
Anybody else? Yes, okay.
So the example you were giving, the moon going out of its orbit,
Yeah.
is that also in the order or law of the creation?
Law of the creation. It is his, but he put whoever put the moon in the orbit, he can take it out. None of your business. Don't say that, oh God, please forgive me. What? You haven't done anything. Yeah? But what our responsibility includes to acknowledge that this universe belongs to him, doesn't belong to me. To acknowledge it, that is the Creator's choice. And that's my responsibility to acknowledge and confirm. That's the Creator's choice. And he is wonderful in his choice. Why? This world is transient. Yeah, you have to learn. We have to learn. Whatever we wish is our wish. God is not going to create the world according to my wish, but God is creating the world as He wills. We understand that His will and knowledge is absolute. And I am responsible for my wills. How to use my will. How to use my choice. If there is no urgent question, we can pray and come back. Okay, quickly. We can leave everything, and people know that we are going to come back in 10 minutes, inshallah. Okay? Please, please. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين فتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Ready? Bismillah. Now it is my turn to ask a question. I want everybody in New York to get to know his God and feel really peace with him, happy with him, worship him alone. And I'm praying from my wishing, from my inside, from the bottom of my heart. You see the result. Do you think God doesn't hear me? What's happening? What is the confusion here? Where is right? What is right? What is wrong? What is the problem? It's a case. I want something, and I don't want to give an example about medicine. Everybody will say, yeah. So, I want something really, really sincerely, and I pray to God, and no response. What is happening here? Any analysis?
I think there's a wisdom.
Sorry?
His wisdom,
What?
because his will encompasses everything. He's the absolute knowledgeable one.
Yeah.
So there is a...
So what's my mistake while I am praying and saying that God is not responding my prayer?
He could be.
Sorry?
The response could be there, but
His response could be there, did you say? And so, but he's not responding. What happened if he doesn't respond? I think he's not responding. How would you say it? So what do we understand from respond? What is my responsibility? Would you like to give an answer? Okay, please.
I think it goes back to the story of Khizr and Moses, as in like we don't see or understand the results that are given to us or the answers that are given to us.
What is the problem in my attitude? Do you see any problem in my attitude? Sorry?
You have to believe in his absoluteness. Yes.
you have to believe in his absoluteness.
Absoluteness. So he's absolute. I believe he's absolute. So what's wrong with my attitude? So would you like to? Okay.
I think the wrong part about our attitude is understanding what is Sunnatullah. Sunnatullah includes our action. That God can do anything He wants, but we should be performing His will, or doing what we are praying for. If you keep praying for 10 years that all people in New York would know their God, it's not going to happen. You should be responsible for that.
Okay, I'm doing my best as well.
You are?
Yeah. For example, I'm not doing my
prayer alone.
For example.
You can't just pray alone. You should.
So, okay.
Prayer goes along with actions.
Yeah. Okay. I did my actions as well. Let's say.
Oh, you did.
Let's say, but still, I didn't reach the conclusion. What's wrong here? Somebody else? Okay. Would you like?
I think they had their hands up.
Okay.
Just the thought that that God didn't accept my prayers means that I don't believe that they can happen.
No, I believe.
Like the hadith
I'm
that.
trying my best, doing everything. Let's say you're doing something, whatever.
But you just said that I don't feel it. Just you saying I don't feel it means that you don't. Your actions and your intentions are tinted by just the fact that you are saying I don't see it.
So what is wrong with my attitude? Yeah.
You're assuming maybe this, I don't know. Maybe you're assuming that there is some sort of trade agreement that if you perform these actions and you do these things, then God is required to reciprocate. But that's not the way it works. There is no pact. There is no agreement. There is simply God's will, and that's a one-directional thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
I'm uncomfortable with that as the complete answer because then it leaves out a notion of why would you ask anything in the first place if you just assumed God's will was?
So what we said, we divided the field, if you like, the realm. So Creator's realm is absolute. My realm is to take notice of my free will. So the problem, but I can hear you. Yeah.
I mean, one thing that can be added is, again, going back to laws of creation. Allah Azza wa Jalla states in the Quran, وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَآمَنَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كُلُّهُم جَمِيعًا. If Allah Azza wa Jalla wills, the entire...
Yeah. What you understood, tell us from the verse, your result.
The result is that, again, it violates the laws of the creation that all the people will become Muslim. No matter how much...
No. But our problem is this. You are right. Our problem is this. What is wrong with my attitude? I am praying, I'm saying, but we have been studying this, but I'm a bit hesitating because we have been studying this. This is the 6th section on the same subject. I've seen you only once here. So you don't have the 5 backgrounds. That's why you don't know where we are coming from. That's why I'm hesitating. Otherwise, I respect everybody, but you don't know what trend we are following. That's why I feel a little bit unwilling to give the opportunity to speak to those people who have not been through our previous discussions. I'm not saying you may give the best answer, but we are trying to understand. But even today, and I don't want to say to be rude to anybody, but at the same time, what our subject is to make the distinction between God's will, absolute will, and human free will. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Like, Allah is to a slave what a slave thinks of him. That's number one.
Sorry?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to a slave what a slave thinks of him. So Allah says...
That's not our subject. I know.
The next part is, whatever happens is from Allah. And the deen is set. The deen
brother, we can't speak like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, because we have been trying to understand something, and I'm sure you have not been listening to this course of discussion, So then just listen, follow what we are doing here. So we are trying to establish something. Okay, what do you want to say? No, that's right.
I think maybe the problem with us is a misplaced expectation.
Okay, just a minute.
Very, very well could be wrong, but I just have a basic problem with the fact that I think I know better than an absolute source or someone who I claim has absolute knowledge. So if I'm, by definition, created, there's something to be said that I want people to feel a certain way. Or
whatever the prayer you are doing, it's just an example. So you are praying to God for something, and it is not answered. You said, God is not responding to me. What is wrong with this statement? Yes?
Because that's not what I thought your question was. Like, you're asking for something, and then God, it appears He hasn't responded. But I mean, one of the things could be that what's happening is in your best interest. In God's wisdom, you might not understand how it's good or how it reflects what you're asking for, but it might still be there.
So what you all said, everybody, all the brothers, sisters said the true thing, but we want to understand the subject in order to help us to clarify our subject today. The distinction between God's will, absolute, and my free will, free in His choice. So what is wrong with my statement when I say I prayed? Of course, I think I should not repeat anymore. What you said is right, but doesn't help me to go further in our discussion, in our subject. So those people who follow, yeah.
Again, I also might be wrong, but is it by you
saying or thinking that your question or your answer or your question has not been answered, you're essentially sort of replacing your free will to in place of, or you're replacing your free will to God's will. So you're sort of reversing, you're putting your place into God's position. Like you're saying that you get what I'm trying to say?
So yeah, that's correct. I mean, this brother said.
So by you saying that it's not answered, you are replacing your free will in place of, and you put in God's will, and that's why you're saying.
Let's make the. Would you like to say? Oh, all right. Thank you. Some help. Let's help. So, you say something you want to say here?
I'm not sure if this applies to all examples, but I was thinking with the name of the first example of all of the people in New York City to be.
Whatever. Yeah. Oh, you may have something.
So here, this is what
I
was
wish my
thinking.
dad buys me this, something like that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Please, Allah, make him buy. It doesn't matter.
Well, I was thinking back to responsibility in terms of my free will.
Yeah.
My free will and my responsibility is to pursue the creation, the law of God, the law of creation.
Yeah.
That's my responsibility. So in the answer of that, for me to all of a sudden say, God's not answering me, that's me entering a perspective. We said in the beginning a couple of classes ago, for everyone who asked questions who wasn't here, that we should, most problems, this is what I'm remembering, most problems occur in our understanding when we confuse divine determining and predetermining or predestination. So there's this notion that was presented to us of divine destination or divine determining, which is absolute, and from the perspective of the absolute, which we don't know, so we stay away from. And then there's predetermining, which because of the word pre, it encompasses pre, post, and time in general, which is strictly for creation. So using that as our background for us to say, why isn't God answering me? That's entering two perspectives. That's putting two perspectives that can't be in discourse. So it seems to me that the answer to that would be we need to stay in our lane or our perspective of pursuing God's law according to my perspective of God's law and not entering his realm of will.
So when I say, so we are following here. Those people who wanted to understand disappeared. Anyway, so we have to look, consistent. So that's why I feel a little bit hesitant, to give the opportunity to say people bringing their previous knowledge. So, or narrating from the Quran, I get a bit irritated if someone starts narrating any verse from the Quran. That's my sensitivity, excuse me for this. Now, what we do, we all have this problem. I keep praying God and trying my best to follow His laws, but He doesn't respond. Look, where is the problem here? You got it, and also the lady behind also, approached, and the brother who said here something also nice. Now, we have to be very careful, very clear. The subject is so simple. I am responsible for what? For my free will. Do I have any responsibility for God's will? None of my business. From the beginning of today's discussion, we say, forget about God's determining. Why? It's none of your business. Your business is to follow His laws. Know that it is His laws, and I am free to use my free will. So I want something, dearly, desperately, I want it. That's my free will to want it. I can want it. I can want everything. Yeah? So I turn to God and say, please, God, I'm going to do everything in your law, within your law. And please also, I'm asking you, addressing you as my Lord, because I have the ability to speak to my God. Yes? Because I know He is my Lord. He is my owner. So please, Allah, I cannot go further than this because I cannot do more than this. I cannot change people's heart. All right? So you change it. I am asking you to change it. God says, okay, you are free to ask me, and what you are doing is good, but don't interfere into my field. I know what I'm doing. Yeah? So we keep saying that, look, I am asking that, and he's responding. He's responding by saying no. It is time. It's not time yet. So we shouldn't get mad at God because He's not responding to our prayers. We have to, when we die, let's say, now, although I don't like this kind of discussion very much, but when we die, God will say, what did you do? I kept asking you to do something that was my duty. I've done mine. That's it. I've done mine. To pray to God, to supplicate to God is my freedom. I have to do that. If you cannot do something which is beyond your capacity, well, even if it is with your capacity, you do it and say that, acknowledge that it is not you who is going to create it. Who is going to create it? Him. Why are you forcing him to do what you want? Who are you? You are only the one who is free to use his freedom. Use your freedom. Most welcome to use your freedom. Don't think that it is waste. No. You are given, we human beings are given to make prayer. If we don't pray to God, it means we are misusing our free will. We are using our free will in the wrong way. My free will tells me that I cannot really achieve that whatever I want. It is I am a created being. I can ask God. That's my duty. So keep praying, acknowledging that you are not the creator. It is absolutely perfect. What we are expected to do? To pray. Can we impose our wishes, our wills on God? No, even in the best way. You know, I'm asking God, look, I am asking you, God, to make these people to worship you. Am I doing something bad? So why don't you respond to my question, my prayer? The mistake here is, rather than doing your duty and saying that that's what I have to do, after the prayer, what we do, please Allah do and this and that, you know, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Ihtina Sirata Mustaqim, everything, Sirata Alladhina An'amta Alayhim, and our duty is to say, Amen. Please God, that's my petition. I'm sending it to you. It is up to you what do you want to do. Don't say he's not responding to my prayer. He is responding to our prayer by saying that you are doing very well. That's why I created you. To know that you are not the creator. To know that you cannot really impose anything in this world. The universe is mine, and you are the one who is free to ask. Yep.
That just reminds me, Dr. Ali, of a class. This was like a while ago, but when you were talking about the creator as a teacher, and how we have to learn from these situations and not always look at it in a negative way, and instead try to learn. We can use our free will to learn patience and other things from situations like that.
So we are not here to correct the universe, okay? Because it is already perfect. So we are not here to manipulate or administer the universe. We are not here to change the hearts of the people. There are many, as brother was narrating one verse from the Quran, so we cannot really change. We have to admit that I cannot change anybody's heart. If it was possible, I would change a heart. You know this example here. So I want. So you understand? I cannot do anything. That is my duty to acknowledge that I cannot do anything. If I acknowledge that I cannot do anything, it means I have fulfilled my free will in the best way. No, I don't have to change my. For example, who said that it is good for me to live longer than such and such years old? For example, who said? My duty is to ask God to give me a healthy life, because I cannot give. That's my duty, to acknowledge that I cannot guarantee my health. That's when I acknowledge it, I have fulfilled my duty. Now, it's not a simple way of, okay, I know everything you created, you can do, bye-bye, I'm going to sleep. No, to communicate with God, transfer your feelings to Him, that is our duty. That's our duty. But never say that He is not responding to my prayer. How do you know? That is the best way. If we know it, really if we know it, the best thing is to feel that we are always needy. We cannot create anything. We cannot guarantee anything. We are totally dependent on our Creator. That my free will requires to do. So, Ahab first. Yes,
is also part of the picture, say, in the example that you gave, that I pray to God that I want everyone to become a Muslim. For example, I'm using, whatever. I want everyone to acknowledge that God exists.
Yeah.
Isn't also part of it is maybe it didn't happen because they also have free choice and they didn't choose to do that?
No, but
it's not just about my choice or God's choice to make it happen, but it's also they have free choice.
So now, actually, what I wanted to make clear, the distinction between the responsibility I have about my free will, I have to do it. Do you want not only the people in New York, but all the people in America, all the people in the world, from the beginning to the end, to worship only God? Do you want it or not? Do you want it or not?
Yeah.
The answer is yes? Okay. That is your responsibility to present your wish to God. Yes, sir, please, God. Ihtina. Guide us to the right path. Sirat al-Mustaqim. Sirat al-Mustaqim. Us. Who is us? You and your wife? Don't be very, not only human beings, and including me as well, and inshallah, amen. So, all human beings, all animals, do you want them to be destroyed? To be on the right path? All the universe to be on the right path? Your limbs to be on the right path? Work in the right path that you want? You have to present to God. That's what you want. That's your feeling. Use your free will to express your feeling. That's your responsibility. But never say, but God is not responding. Why do you confuse? You said, don't confuse, because we said God is determining concerns God, not me. My free will concerns me. Whatever you wish, whatever you want, present it to God. Whatever you want, present to God. But don't say He is responding, He is not responding, He is not accepting my prayer. Who said that? That's none of your business. You know what He is doing? No. It is absolute. He is absolute. The universe belongs to Him. I belong to Him. I have to take care of my responsibility. Never use, I will come. Never use this word. Never use. I'm not, I don't want to give support from the Quran, but I may at the end. Not in the beginning, at the end. So never use I keep praying. I did everything. I cried last night after praying 10 rakat, 20 rakat. I read 20 pages from the Quran. And I asked them one very simple thing, please, this man will accept me to marry. Yeah. And it doesn't happen. And you despair, you fall into despair. Why? Rather than your business, you started putting your nose into God's business. What are you doing? If you want something, you have to express. That's it. Accepting, not accepting, according to your expectation, is your expectation. His absolute knowledge, we don't know. It is my duty to present my expectations to God. And never say he didn't accept my prayer. He accepted my prayer. How do you know? He responds. That's sure. How? By not, for example, he loves you. He loves you to ask him to be in contact with him, maybe. That's why he doesn't give it. It's a good status. It's the best way to acknowledge that we are weak, to acknowledge that we are needy, to acknowledge that everything is in his hand to create. Take care of your free will. It's very simple. Yes.
So this helps. I feel like I understand better now. But the extension in my mind then becomes, why would we even want to ask for something or need something? Why do we have to be needy? When instead I think what you're presenting to us is we should attempt to be understanding. We should try to become closer to understanding God's will and why things are happening, more so than asking for certain things.
Why are you asking this question? Why do we accept that we are needy and express it? Are you needy?
I don't.
Are you needy? I don't know. Look, maybe you may feel that you are, but this brother thinks he doesn't know. You know. Do you need to exist?
Yes.
Do you need to have life?
What difference does it make to me if I don't exist?
That's your fact. We said much earlier, belief and worship is not to contradict yourself. If you are needy, say I am needy. But if you don't want to admit it, it means you are contradicting your reality. So we shouldn't pretend as if we are not needy. We are needy. For example, I need to be healthy because if I was ill, I wouldn't be able to come here. As far as I am concerned, look, whatever God creates, I don't know. It's his business. My business is, here I am. I have the desire to be healthy, so I am needy to be healthy. So I express my Creator. Look, I cannot create health. I cannot create health, but I need health, and I'm not going to ask Risala to give me health. He needs health as well. He's like me. I'm better than a little bit, but younger but he cannot give me health. So I am, when I take medicine, I am asking the Creator to give me health. I have to acknowledge that because I should know. I am aware that the medicine is prepared by Him, and my desire to get the medicine expresses that I am in need of health. Why don't we express my reality to my Lord? So I am needy. I need health. You are the one who creates health. You are the one who creates health. I have to acknowledge it because this acknowledgement is my reality. So I have to go and ask God. Even while I'm doing this, I want to take this one. I have to say, Inshallah, please God, let me be able to do it. Do I like to be, for example, paralyzed so that I cannot pick up my glasses as well? No, I don't want. Why shouldn't I express it?
To use these types of actions, right? Then
Yeah.
then it separates. This isn't just about material things or status. This is basic existence that we're needing, that you're talking about.
Yeah, this basic instincts. What even I don't know what is basic, what is not.
Just simply having this conversation, right? This is a dialogue that we're trying to have, and it does not happen without God enabling us to do it. And in that way, we are needing to have this conversation. It's not like I'm being materialistic or selfish and I want a pony or whatever. It's there is life, and life doesn't happen without God's enablement, and that's what we need.
But that's correct. That's correct. But at the same time, if I am created with a need of anything, express it to God. Why? He is the one who provides it. To acknowledge, He is the one who creates it, and we have to acknowledge it. We are here to acknowledge the truth. Somebody wanted to something?
I was just gonna feed off of that question by saying that so you just answered it, that when we do feel a need, by asking, it's not necessarily asking with with the intention of wanting Him to respond to me. This is saying, by asking, I'm actually acknowledging that I can't, and acknowledging His qualities, which was the purpose. The purpose is not to put out a request and then just wait for a response. Otherwise, the only reason I'm asking is for a response. This is saying that still ask, but ask with a different intention, with the intention being the acknowledgement or realization that I can't and He can, or I'm not and He is. Otherwise, nothing else matters. What the response is, nothing else of that matters.
The acknowledgement is the point.
Yeah.
While we are praying, what do we do? The people are praying. What do we do when we pray? We don't expect anything from God. We express, we admit what we know. That the prayer means this. When you go and say Allahu Akbar, do you think we are doing something different from acknowledging that, as far as I know, I confirm that the owner of this universe is really great. That's it. Express it. So, in expectation, what? I pray and God will do something for me. I don't know. Aren't they expecting paradise? Yeah, it's in my heart, but it is His business, not mine. I don't pray in order to go to paradise. I pray because I know that's my reality. I have to express. But in the Quran He promises paradise. Yes, He promises. It is His business, not mine. So don't expect anything in return. So when we say, this is the very common problem, I pray, and there is no answer. No, I pray is correct. There is no answer is going into absolute realm of creation. So it is not right. It is not the right sentence. That's why the mistake in my sentence was I confused my realm of creation with the realm of absolute creator. I have to admit, that's my need to admit. That's it. So if you have this notion and develop this notion and pray, while we are praying, what do you do? I say Allahu Akbar, I say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, and I say Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi Al-A'la, yeah? Allahumma lakal hamd, for example. That's my feeling. That's my part. Yeah, I'm not going to, do something so that God won't be angry with me or will angry with me. But none of my business. Don't think of God's side. Think of yourself. Express yourself before your Creator. Prayer is a communication with your Creator from your side. From your side. But we know that we are aware that whatever is happening in this world, it's God's will, but He responds to us. Why? He responds to us. How? He is our creator. Before you come here, we are created on earth. The earth is provided for me. He is the one who's taking care of everything. Yeah. So don't bargain. Somebody said this. We are as if you're bargaining with God. No, but express yourself and know that He is absolute in His all qualities. Yep. Shall we study one verse or shall we stop? One more verse. This one. I wanted to study this verse in this context. Anybody who would like to read English? No one wants to read English.
Should we not know what He created, while He alone is unfathomable in His wisdom, aware?
Unfathomable in His wisdom, and He is aware. I wanted to say, alongside with this verse, God, you will never find any change in God's law, but at the same time know that His knowledge is absolute. Just know that the owner of this universe knows what He is doing. How do we know? The universe itself shows that the one who created me knows it. Look at the universe. If you see anything that, oh, this man doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah? Do you see any sign in the universe? The one who created the universe doesn't know what he's doing. So He knows it, He creates it accordingly, and His law is according to His knowledge. Don't worry. His law of creation, the universe, according to His knowledge. He is not doing anything haphazardly, accidentally, or without knowing. There is no sign of it in the universe. So creation of God and knowledge of God are working together. So trust Him. If you don't trust the creator of the universe, whom are you going to? I don't know. I don't see anybody that I can trust. Anything else I can trust. If I don't trust the creator of the universe, owner of the universe, the one who created me, whom else I can trust? That's why His laws in the universe is not accidental, well established according to His knowledge. He knows what He's doing. So mind your business. Don't interfere into your mess up with God's business. So when you pray, I prayed. Everything bad is going, it happens always. We think that in this way. Every time, all bad things happens to Muslims. So God is not favoring us. Okay. What is wrong with it? God doesn't know what to do. Please get some advice from me. So we should know that He knows what He's doing. What is wrong with me? Ask the question to me. What is wrong with God? No. What is wrong with me? These verses just guide us that be aware everything is under the knowledge of God. So فلا تضربوا الله الأمثال إن الله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. So this one, therefore do not give likeness to Allah. Why? There is no like of Him. He's absolute. What can you liken to Him? Now what? Absolute. But what you know in this world, not because your knowledge is limited. No, you may be the most knowledgeable man all in the world. You are a created being. You don't know absolute. Not because you are narrow. No, because you are created. You don't know absolute. So please, don't give likeness to Allah. Surely Allah knows and you don't know. What does it mean? Allah knows. The one who created the universe knows what he is doing. The universe is the witness to this. And you don't know, it means you don't know his knowledge. You know only as much as you know, so you have to use your free will within the limits of your knowledge. So as far as I know, the Creator is absolute, and as far as I know, He is my Lord. As far as I know, I understand that whatever I want, this is given to me by my Creator. It is only done by Him. It means it will be created by Him. So I have to acknowledge this reality. So when I need something, whatever you need, express it. To whom? Not to Ihab. He can't do anything. To Allah. Yeah? If you want Ihab to behave nicer, he is nice, but a bit better, yeah? Say, please Allah, you can do it. But sincerely, so Allah says, if you want this, these are my laws, and you have to behave in this way as well. I have to be modest. Yeah, I have to be kind. For example, what you want him to do, for example, to use nice language. Yeah, it means to use nice language is good, and God is teaching you. You have to use nice language. Not him. It is his free will. Your free will is you learn. But you don't mind, do you? Giving an example, a hypothetical example. So we are learning. God is teaching me through the mistakes that Ihab does. Oh. He makes always mistakes. So through his mistakes, I am learning, and it becomes my responsibility. That, for example, he throws the things here and there. He doesn't. But example.
Everyone, this is not true.
It's not true. So you know that, you learn this, but it is not nice. You don't do it. Right? You don't do it. And ask God, God, I know now, thank you for teaching me through Ihab. Yeah? Thank you for teaching me. Then I'm going to, because it is not a nice thing to do. I learned, thank you for teaching me, so I am not going to do it. And also you want him not to do it. That's your feeling. Turn God. Please God, change me. That's my need. But I have been praying God, to change this man for 10 years and never. That's none of your business. My business is what I want. He can be done and created only by the Creator of the universe. And this feeling teaches me that I have to turn to God and express it to God. You are the one who changes the heart. Yeah, muqallib al-qulub. You are the one who changes the heart of the people. You are the one who changes other people. So my duty is to follow his law and to get lesson from him, take care of myself. I should never say that what I'm asking God to do and try to correct somebody else, etc. Ask God, be nice, follow his law. He knows what he's doing. Don't worry about it. Allahu ya'lam wa antum la ta'lam. You don't know what is his plan, what his plan is. We don't know what his will is. Maybe you keep praying, and you think that the prayer is not answered. How do you know? It is the best situation for a human being to be in the position of prayer. That's what we are created for, to turn to God. So the more your prayer is not accepted, the better the result is. Can you imagine? You say, I want an, what did you want? What? Pony? Pony?
Yeah.
Is that small animal? Horse. Yeah, horse, the small one, the pony. Yeah. And then he said, please God, send me a pony. pony is here. Okay. So you forget about God and you start riding the pony. It's not good for you. We are created to acknowledge who my Lord is. Yeah? So please, please do not interfere into God's field. That's what we learned today. Mind you, my business. I should mind my business. You have to, we have, again, while I am doing my business, I have two sources. One is the laws of the creation established by the Creator. By obeying these laws, I am obeying and acknowledging my Creator. And the laws He sent to us in order to organize my human life, personal and social life, through the prophets. These are called the books, the revelation, the prophetic teachings, etc. These are the laws as well. And try to follow these laws and always take care of your choice, your business, your responsibility. Never put your responsibility in comparison to how God responds to it. That is the source of disease. And you cannot solve any problem if you put, and I did this and God didn't do that. Look at this. We are comparing yourself with God's action. That's what this verse said. I know you don't know. I am the owner of the universe. What do you own? What do you own? Yeah. And then when you die, you will see who owns it. Do you understand? You own nothing. You say, I have my nose. It's not yours. It's given. When you have my mind, it's not yours. It's given. Okay, we have to stop, I think. Oh, okay, last question, since I wanted to ask a question or comment.
No, I have a question.
One.
Oh, you mentioned two kinds of law.
Yeah.
Can you review it, please?
One of them, the laws in creation, is established with the first verse. Yeah?
You mean that's like natural laws, like nature?
No, there's no natural law. There's the laws of God. The Creator, nothing is natural.
No, I mean, I'm just giving an example.
No,
like,
I'm deliberately criticizing it. There is no natural. We are taught as they are natural. There's nothing natural. The nature itself is created by it. It doesn't happen by itself. Excuse me, nothing is natural. Nothing is natural in the world. Think about it. Think about it. Is there anything happening by itself? We have studied maybe 100 classes about it. Nothing can be the creator of itself. So nothing is natural. Everything is deliberately decided by their creator. So the laws that we see, the things are happening in a certain pattern, are the choice, the will of God, the creator. So we have to follow His choice. That's what we are, created beings. We cannot establish a new law in the creation. We are just users of the laws, consumers of the laws, obedience of the laws. We cannot reconstruct any law. We just follow it. We have to understand that. The other one is the law. God gives the speech and asks us, it teaches us how to behave in this world, guides us. So we have to follow this law as well that we receive from the prophets, but it is not our subject. That's what we are not going to detail in the subject. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The time is getting late. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. We have to evacuate the room as soon as possible. Sorry?
The semester started.
Today or tomorrow? Tomorrow.